Yeah. Sorry. Out of nowhere, my Switch needed to update, so it took a bit, but it finished now, so we're all good. And bald. There we go. There's my hair again. Oh. So, plan. I'm not sure if we're gonna finish it today. It really depends, because I have no idea how long chapter 7 is. It could be 30 minutes, it could be 4 hours. We don't know. So the plan is to get through, I guess, chapter Evermore for as much as we can today. But yeah. Eesh. Planning to go through as much of it today as we can. Hopefully all of it. Hopefully it's not that long. Hopefully this is just a funny, nice, short epilogue chapter that will be sad. Oops. I mean, because it will be sad. Cerez is currently in the process of dying. Riding on the wind, Anku's wish reached Adolpha's ears.
お前が本当に俺なのだとしたら、その絶望は痛いほどわかる。だが、その絶望にセレスを巻き込むことだけは許さねえ。セレスの命はセレスだけのものだ。俺たちが感情任せに結末を押し付けていいものじゃない。
Adolpha drew his sword out with rage, to which Anku responded with intense hatred.
この後に及んで綺麗事を。お前は、俺はいつもそうだ。口だけは達者で。今までもこれからも現実にしたことなんて一度もなかったくせに。お前はまだ一度もセレスが死ぬ瞬間を見ていないから、こいつの命の重さがわからないんだろうな。
そんなわけないだろうが、俺は。
ならお前に理解できるか。何を敵に回しても守りたいと思っていた女が、暗いリコリスの花園の中央で一人孤独に冷たくなっているのを見つけた時の俺の感情。
それは。
はあ、わからないだろうな。お前は俺の介入のおかげで間に合ったんだから。つい数時間前まで俺の名前を奏でてくれた細い喉から大量の血が流れ、それをリコリスたちが養分として吸って花びらの先に赤を宿す。その上、そうだ、きっとすぐに死ねなかったんだろうな。探検を突き刺した喉の周囲には苦しみ、爪でかきむしったような跡がついていた。そんな絶望的な光景を見ずに済んだお前が、俺は心から羨ましい。
Adolphus suddenly went pale as he imagined that horrible scene in his mind.
それでも俺はセレスを死なせたくねえ。
Hearing him not give up on salvation, Anku's eyes widened to their limit then. In the blink of an eye, a huge hole opened in Adolphus' chest. Adolpha crumpled to the ground. In Anku's open hand, I saw a weapon that I had never seen
俺に
before.
戦う力がないと思い込んで油断してたな。
その武器は今まで。
Oh, did he shoot him with a gun? Yeah, he's got a gun.
バカだな。お前が言ったんだぞ。
So he shot him.
惚れた女の命がかかってる以上、手段なんか選ぶわけねえだろ。と本当にどうしようもない絶望的な状況にのみ使う切り札として徹底的に隠してたんだ。
そう。
Adolpha. I did my best to reach out to him, but my fingers couldn't even move. Anku lifted me up in his arms as I sank into despair and carried me slowly to Adolpha. He pointed the weapon and said, yeah, because they wouldn't have a word for a gun, because guns don't really exist in this country. With deep sorrow, Anku spoke parting words to himself.
少しぐらいはお前のことを理解できると信じかけてた。だが結局無力さゆえの絶望を知っているか否かで俺たちの道は分かれたな。絶望も希望も知らないぬるま湯育ちのお前は最初の俺よりも無力なんだよ。
くそ。俺は。
The bullet fired and punctured Adolpha's forehead. He fell face down onto the ground, and his body slowly crumpled to ash.
Emotional damage.
Yep. You person, you're absolutely correct. This is, yep, that's all this is. No, Anku just shot Adolpha in the forehead with a gun. So yeah, it's nothing but happy fun times. You guys came in at the right time. Why? Because Anku was going scorched earth and it's like, well, if I can't be happy, no one can be happy. And yeah. Basically. So not much has happened, actually. Oh, thank you for the gift sub! But yeah, basically Anku's like, well, you suck. So yeah, Adolpha was like, if you're like me, we shouldn't want Ceres to die. That's her own life. And he's like, you're so idealistic. We can't do any. Yeah, the crash out of the King of Hades. You don't understand the weight of Ceres' life because you never saw her die in front of you. You don't understand, no matter how many enemies I made, the girl I loved and swore to protect would die in that Lycoris field alone. And yeah, Anku just pretty much goes over how he saw her die. Adolfo's like, well, I still don't want her to die. And then yeah, Anku shoots him in the chest. No, actually, the thing. Oh, wait, you Parsons not been here for the majority of the game. This game forces us to play the bad endings first. So this isn't a happy ending. This game has the good endings actually locked behind the bad endings. Oh, you have? I'm sorry. Sorry. I didn't mean to actually. But yeah, hopefully I'm hoping I can finish chapter 7 today so that we can go through the other bad endings, and then next stream we can do all the salvation ends. I'm not sure if you've played the game. Can you give me a rough estimate on to how long this chapter 7 is? I've heard. Don't go into too much detail. But yeah. No. No. His body disappeared like melting snow. My consciousness faded from the unbearable heartache. Yes, we're on the final ending now. We're on La Salou, if it wasn't obvious. I want to know how long chapter 7 is, because I want to know if I can finish it today or not. Because I'll probably be streaming for another 3. Like, I'll probably go for the same length we've been streaming for the past few days, which is about 3.5 hours. If the chapter 7 is longer than that, we're gonna have to break it up again, which I don't want to do. Because yeah, I'm hoping we can get through the Evermore end. I'll need one more stream, so it's like 6 hours, you think? Because yeah, I want to finish, my plan is to finish chapter 7, get the despair ends we need from chapter 7 to unlock the cutscene that plays after you get all the despair ends, and then on a separate stream have it just be the speed running all of the salvation ends for each character. But you think I'll need one more stream after this? Chapter 7's longer than like 3.5 hours. Until the very end. I was unable to fight the pain surging through my body to call Adolfo by name. Okay. Oh shit, he's burning the flowers. Typically, because I'm streaming, my reading speed will be probably a bit slower because I talk to chat between lines. I make mistakes in lines, so we'll see. We'll see how we go, I guess. Adult. The person I longed for was not in front of me. He had passed away long ago. Instead, the one who responded to me was the other Adolfo, who had turned into an immortal being that survived time itself. He held me in his arms. He then quietly walked towards the field of lycrous noises that burned in crimson flames.
もうすぐだ。俺たちの終わりは。普通の傷では俺は死ねないが、毒素を大量に含んだリコリスの花をすべて燃やし尽くせば、解放された毒素が 俺の抗体を上回り。
Yeah. Adolfo and the cooler Adolfo.
不老不死の化け物さえ殺してくれる。
So you're saying he was going to die with me? But you can't. If the toxins release into the air, it will spread all over the country, killing everyone.
いらないだろう、こんな国。
Huh? He held me even more strongly.
こんな国に生まれなければ、お前は普通の幸せを手に入れることができたんだ。お前一人不幸になることを強いたこの国の運命と、この国の王となったダハトを、俺は許さない。
With that said, Anku took out a vial from his pocket, containing a strange-colored liquid. He took out the matches I gave him before and tossed it with the vial behind his back. 7 years ago, the same fire that burned Eve's face was now spreading rapidly across the Lycaris field. The toxins in the air increased, and a more intense pain began to surge through my body.
苦しいよな。悪い。でも汚染の発作は一瞬だ。本来なら花畑を燃やすことでまた毒素を大量に吸収することになるだろうが、お前も知ってる通りこれは発火性だからな。俺が火種に使った薬品と合わせれば汚染よりもはるかに早く焼け死ねる。
Anku then looked at the black fields of flowers that were supposed to be proof of his friendship with a dear friend, and he began to walk, burning the fields along the way. The toxins spread across the land, heralding the destruction of our Pichelle. Finally, the Watchman of Death had become Death incarnate.
このリコリス・ノアージュの花畑を燃やせば最後だ。ここからならいつものあの海辺もよく見える。ああ、ちょうどいい。ここをお前と俺の死に場所にしよう、セレス。
I could hear the sound of screaming in the distance. I tried to tell him to stop, but my voice failed me as smoke began to burn my throat. But he was right.
どうだ、さっきの発作よりもまだ煙の苦しみの方がマシだろ。
I couldn't deny that. And besides, I couldn't bear to live through the pain and suffering of a world where Adolfo didn't exist. Therefore, as he desired, Adolfo and Anku, this place where I made dear memories of those two who were precious to me.
はあ、どうも静かだと思ったら、まだ火に焼かれていなくてもこれだけ煙を吸えば気も失うか。ここに来るまでもずいぶん連れ回したし、疲れさせて悪かった。
I gently spoke to Cerez, who had already lost consciousness. Crimson spread across the field, and the end of this country became a reality in front of my eyes. This inferno of crimson wasn't what I wanted her to see. I wanted to show Cerez our Pichelle with the curse gone, and the lycrases blooming beautifully in white and red. But a pathetic man like me was unable to fulfill such a simple wish like that. Yeah, Oh no, oh no, not the innocent people who are completely innocent.
なあ、セレス。どうしてお前のそばにいたのがよりにもよって無力な俺だったんだろうな。もしもお前の運命がイブだったら、お前はもっと早く死神の異名を振り払おうとする勇気を持てたかもしれない。絶望的なことがあっても、あいつの不屈の心がきっと希望に導いてくれた。今だから言えるが、ずっとお前にイブを選んでほしいと思ってたんだぞ。きっと俺の代わりにお前を救ってくれると思ってたから。
Or maybe
想像力のあるマティストだったら、自分が無限の可能性を持つ人間だってことに気づいて、今までとは全く異なる未来への道を進むことができたかもしれない。さすがにブローのリュカと恨みのあるシアン・ブロフィワーズは進める気になれないが、あの二人でもお前に与えられるものは確かにあったはずだ。他者の追従を許さぬ強さと、本当に大切なものを見失わない一途さと誠実さ。
this is the first time in an Otome game I'm seeing one of the love interests be like, God, I wish you were dating anyone else but me. Like, it's funny. This is the first time from what my memory has, that I'm outright seeing one of the love interests be like, God, if only you fell in love with anyone else. Anyone else. Please.
間違いなく悪人ではあるが、揺るがぬ自我と
God, I
定めた
wish you
信
weren't on
念
my
を
route
最
right
後
now.
まで貫くことのできる
Pick anyone else's route but mine, please. Yeah, that's fair. He isn't wrong. It's just interesting, as a long-time Otome player.
どいつもこいつも羨ましい。お前に何も与えてやれないのは本当に普通な俺だけだったんだ。けどやっとお前のためにしてやれることを見つけた。お前の孤独な死を一度見ている俺だからこそ。セレス、お前が死を望むほど苦しんでいるとき、迷わず共に死ぬことを選んでやることができるんだ。もう二度とお前を一人では死なせない。ずっと俺がそばにいる。間違っても誇れるような役目じゃないが、これがアンクーとしてお前に捧げられる世界で唯一の愛の形だ。
I brushed her ash-covered cheek so that I could see her pale skin blooming with the lycrases and... With trembling lips, I gave her a gentle kiss.
これが二度目のキスだって。おやすみ、セレス。この口づけで 永遠の死を誓い合って終焉を迎えよう。
You were born again many times into despair, but with this I would end your horrible fate. I would finally reap your life as death once and for all. Oh. Okay, that wasn't very long at all. Okay, that was literally only like 30 minutes. We did not have long at all. Unless there's more extra, like after the credits. Which is possible. Also, yeah, I'm not gonna mute the song because I want to listen to it. Nah, it's okay.
君を絶望させるだけの世界なんてなくなってしまえばいい。どれだけあがいたって運命が君を奪っていく。もう疲れたよ。どうか私を救っておくれ。共に終焉を迎えておくれ。
Okay, so I was okay. I was like, well, it could be super short. It could be like 30 minutes. I wasn't expecting it to be. Okay. Plan. So for Lassaloo specifically, we have to go through the other bad endings. The guide I'm following says that a cutscene should play once all despair endings for Lassaloo are cleared. After the credits, a cutscene would... Yeah, after... A cutscene should play after once all despair endings for Lassaloo are cleared. After the credits, the cutscene will play. Congratulations. A cutscene should automatically play. Then, finish, go and play the Salvation End. Congratulations. Now you can play Salvation Ends for the rest of the routes. So we have to, do all of the bad ends for Lassaloo. And then we have to go and do the Salvation End for Lassaloo before we get all the other Salvation Ends. So, what I think we're going to do for the rest of today is go through those other despair endings for Lassaloo, and then do the Salvation End for Lassaloo, and then next stream, depending on how long this takes, we'll go through the other endings. We might go through all the Salvation Ends on this stream. It just depends on how long finishing Lassaloo takes. It does kind of suck that we have to do the Salvation End for Lassaloo before we can do Mathis, Lucas's, Shien's, and Eve's Salvation Ends. I kind of would have wanted to do the other routes' Salvation Ends first and then finish with the salvation end for Lasalo, but unfortunately that's just not how this game works. So we go all the way back to here. So this first bad ending is not technically a despair ending. It's called a dead end. But, we'll go through it anyway, just because it's on the guide. And we consider the consequences. I'm sorry, Kaze. To be honest, I wanted to help Eve and the girl from the work order. But it was really okay for Death to go near a hospital patient. Uncle may be stressing my power, but I was worried the effect I would have on a girl in poor condition. I ended up staying quiet for a moment, unable to respond immediately to the request, and... I'm sorry, Eve. Would you mind if I took a little time to think about it? Although I was hesitant to decide, Eve and Adolpha both responded with kindness and support. By the end of the night, we couldn't come up with any other ideas to ask for help for the curse. Adolpha needed to go back out for the night patrol, and Anku said he would momentarily be visiting Hades to attend to some business. Before they left, they both told me not to leave the house, so I ended up going to bed by myself. What? I could still remember the joy that my beloved and I felt on the day our dear child was born.
よく無事に生まれてきてくれたね。僕たちの世界でただ一人の愛しい子。君も頑張ってくれてありがとう。やっぱり君は僕なんかよりよほど強い人だ。僕は病弱で弱い男だけど、君とこの子を守るために精一杯戦うって。そうだ、まず名前を決めないとね。実はクロード夫妻に助言をもらって考えていたんだよ。君も気に入ってくれると嬉しいな。外の国の言葉で強い意志を意味する。強い君の息子にふさわしい綺麗な名前。
Blank. Blank was our child, his and mine. So why? Why did I leave my child behind? I must go and see him right away. I'm sure my poor lonely child is still waiting for me to come and take him away from that place. Is this about Salome and Dahat? Where was I? This was no time for me to be sleeping. I needed to go and find my precious... blank. I'm guessing Liam. Is this the Queen's genes awakening within her? He must be so lonely. I must go and find him now. I must save him from them. Yeah. This is such a weird ending. The memories that lay dormant in my genes were screaming. So yeah, the Queen's genes awoke within her. And she's trying to find Dahat, Liam. I went to the palace that knew no sleep, as if being guided by an awakened memory of an unknown origin.
貴様、こんな深夜に何用だ?
This is kind of a good thing we didn't go and do this ending before. beforehand. Because this kind of gives massive hints towards the twist. The final twist.
おい、無視するな。ここから先は許可を得た者以外の立ち入りを禁止して。
Shut up.
あ、え、ナイフ。こんな一般人が。
Do not get in the way of our reunion. Yeah, for real. I left the man on the ground and continued onward, only to be greeted by men wearing a different uniform.
今すぐ武器を下ろして降伏しろ。貴様、ここが尊きアルペシェール王家へ続く重要機関と知っての狼藉か。
Noble? Was he referring to those despicable, foolish royals? My genes and memories were slowly shifting from Cereza's to someone else's. Don't make me laugh. I could hear the voice inside my mind sneering at the notion. None of you are worthy of becoming king. It's my child's birthright. Return my child to me at once. Return him alive, if you cannot. Then pay with your filthy, miserable lives for taking my child away from me. It did not matter if I had no chance of winning. Whether they shot me with their bows and arrows or ripped me open with their swords, I would never stop biting back with my knife. I killed a well-dressed man who came in response to the commotion. Huh? What am I doing here? Where's Adolpharind? I was planning on telling the two of them in the morning that we were going to work together to break the curse. But the idea slowly began to slip away from me, along with the blood spilling from my body. I did it. I finally had my revenge. The only thing left now is to leave the rest of me. Leave the rest to me. You just go to sleep now. Within my thoughts as Ceres was another voice that spoke to me as I took my last breath. Bruh. That ending does definitely hint to the final twist a bit much. Right. First spear ends. I think that's... right. Yeah. Pretty much straight up telling us that within Cereza's genes and DNA there is a whole ass other person. And we're like, well, I wonder who it is. We would have figured out what they were talking about so fast. Right, so we're picking... Shien and Mathis have died. If we don't do something now, Shien, Mathis, and everyone else would have died for nothing. The plan was for us to work together so that we could uncover the truth behind the curse, right?
あいつらの死について俺も思うところがないわけじゃない。
Making sure my skip is on red.
だが俺は物言わぬ死者よりお前を優先する。だがそれにはお前の意志も含まれてるからな。
And now we're skip until the next one. Skippity skip. Wait, does this... Wait, let me see. Do we have a skip to next? Is there a skip to next choice. There is. Flicking the right... Okay, flicking the right stick. Jump to next unread text or choice. Yes. And we pick the same one. We pick Save Anko and Adolpha. Waiting. There we go. And then we pick I Need Some Time to Think as well. So yeah, this ending only takes you to pick a couple of different options. And like, for the reason why I'm doing this on stream is also because I've only been streaming for less than an hour, but also because the guide I'm following does mention that a special cutscene does play after finishing the Despair Ends, so I obviously want to record that for you guys. And then we pick Try to Stop Him. No, I won't have you suffer again all alone. I tried to take Anku's hand, but he quickly moved away.
大丈夫だ姫君。また遅れをとって君を心配させるようなことはし。
And then we skip. Actually, no. I'll skip to next unread text. I appreciate it, of course. Yeah, I'm assuming it's something that's just gonna be like, hey, now you can pick other happy endings or something like that. But yeah, we get a special cutscene after finishing the Despair Ends. And we also get a special cutscene after we do the Salvation End, which we need to do before we can do the other love interests Salvation Ends as well. So yeah, 2 cutscenes for each finishing of Despair and Salvation End, and then yeah, then we can go on to do the other characters Salvation Ends. No, so a lot of this is the same. Oh. 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 Okay, so this is... So yeah, Dahut's just turbocharged Cereza's cancer. Before Anka could move, Adolpha drew out his sword and decapitated Dahut. A rain of blood fell from the air and his head slowly rolled next to Salome as if reaching out to her.
Adolf, お前。
目的は達した。シアンと合流する。あいつなら治療こそできなくてもセレスをこの世に留める方法を編み出せるはずだ。
わかった。では、シスター・サロメは私が背負う。
Oh, and we never get the reveal about him this way as well. It didn't matter if the citizens were screaming in despair. They decided to leave Nadia in the hands of Eve and the others who would probably come here once the toxins thin. They carried Ceres, limp as a doll, and Salome, who is now dead, out of the laboratory. Their eyes were not tainted by resignation yet. Yes, even if...
そら、セレス。もう何も見えないだろうな。俺たちの家に
Yeah,
戻
so
って
they
き
end
た
up
ぞ。
just outright killing Dahut instead of letting him live. And they're hoping Shien can somehow stop the turbo cancer that Cereza's currently dealing with.
今日からこのベッドの上がお前の居場所だ。
Even if Cereza herself had already given up hope to live. Oh, okay. Oh. Cereza received medical attention from Shien. The two of them ignored the chaos in the country and brought her back home as she struggled to breathe.
俺たちが懸命に看病していれば、お前はこのままの状態で生き続けることができるらしい。
Oh, is she comed? Is she comatose?
私も冥界には戻らず、ずっとここで君のことを死ぬまで守り続けよう。
Hearing their voices, Cereza twitched as more Lycris marks appeared across her skin.
君が生きてくれてよかった。もう大事な君が生きてさえいてくれれば、どんな姿だろうが構わない。
ああ、今度こそ何があっても死な
Oh
せは
god,
しない。
they're both so fucking crazy. Which makes sense. They are the same person, so it makes sense that they would be the same type of crazy. Seeing the two in a trance beside her, she opened her mouth and tried to speak with her tongue, now blooming with the Lycris marks. Hurts. Pain. Please kill me. She pleaded to them, but... Ouch.
ダメだ。惚れた女を殺せる男がどこにいるんだよ。告白した時、俺はこう言ったよな。ずっと探していた俺の温かな死に場所は、呪いと23の年月を超えた先にある。数十年後、共に添い遂げたお前の隣以外考えられない。
Yeah, for real. Ouch, man.
シワだらけになった俺を見とる。俺だけの死神であってくれ、セレス。と。
His wish would now become reality. Not in the form of a promise, but as a curse. Bruh. Yeah.
そうだね。その約束を君が果たすためにも、呪いと23の年月を超えた先にある数十年後。
I mean, Anku, we already know Anku version of him was already fucking crazy, but... oh, goodness.
シワだらけになった俺を見とるまで、どれだけ苦しくても。絶対に死なせず、俺たちが守ってやるからな。
It was a curse that kept her with them forever. One that promised her a life of endless suffering. Bruh. Okay, now for this one. We Dun, dun, dun. Try and escape together with Dahut. Knowing who he truly is probably... I feel like we can put 2 and 2 together as, how bad this goes. We need to find a way to escape together, so we can save Nadia. After all, we're the only ones who know Capuchin's true identity.
そうですね。今は1分1秒が惜しい。では僕が脱出のための作戦を立てるので、
Yeah.
あなたはそれに従い行動してもらえますか？
I'm not sure what to do, so I'd be grateful if you could lead the way, Dahut. I'll do anything to save Nadia, Adolfo and the others.
ありがとうございます。では遠慮なく、あの子のために力を貸してもらいますね。
Oh, yeah. My opportunity to escape would come when they came to check on me. I would make a run for it as soon as they brought me to the Institute. Since I would create a diversion, Dahut could make his escape through the underground passage he saw being used by Capuchin. He'd then get Adolfo and Anku down to the passage, so he asked me to join them there as well. As much as I wanted to save Adolfo and Anku myself, I knew it couldn't be helped.
健康状態の確認を行う。外に出ろ。
I followed the guard's order and came forward. As I looked back at the cell behind mine, I saw Dahut give me a wink. Despite his still being confined, his presence alone was encouraging enough. I'm guessing he betrays us somehow. I followed the guard, dragging my chains as I walked.
なんだ?
Dahut must have done something as an alarm suddenly went off and blared throughout the area. I used my chain as a weapon and quickly bludgeoned the soldier in the head from behind. Fortunately, the strike was strong enough that for the shackle to come off. I could hear footsteps rushing towards me, so I quickly looked for the way down to the underground passage Dahut told me about. I found an oddly placed tile on the floor and lifted it to discover a ladder leading down a deep hole. I hurriedly climbed down the ladder until I reached a large underground passage with only the bare minimum of light. I never knew there was such a huge passage underneath our shell. I wonder what Capuchin was using this place for and where he went from here. I looked up the ladder I came down from, but didn't see Adolfo or Eve coming down. I shouldn't head back up, or I'll just be a burden if something happens. I'll just trust Dahut and wait here until Adolfo and Eve arrive. Let's see. He told me to walk towards the sound of wind, right? He also said we would use the first open area I reached as our meeting point. I was down here already. I began to drag my legs through the water and head toward the passage. Head down the passage. It didn't take me long to reach a dark area, when suddenly it began to light up. Huh? I discovered that I was in a room with equipment different from the Institute's. The devices glowed eerily under the light, and then, or in them, a large number of people were trapped inside the capsules, as though they were in coffins. Some were slamming against the glass from the inside, and I slowly began to move back. What is this place? I bumped into something behind me. I felt warmth against my back. My heart was pounding with fear as I held it down, gathering my strength to slowly turn around.
あなたと不死の化け物。あなたの義兄の存在で、ようやく私は、この国に巣くう憎き死神を、殺す。
They covered my mouth with their hand, preventing me from screaming.
人としての生にさよならを。これからあなたは永遠に終わること。
Yeah, so pretty much Dahut gets what he wants in this ending. I guess, but
この国を救う尊き医者。
yeah, I guess, yeah. You could put two and two together and be like, oh, this is Dahut, because he's the one that sent us down here, but
過ごすことになるのだから。
rip. Right. Now, we do this one. So for this one, we pick... Yeah, I guess, yeah, you could have also thought that was Salome. That's true. So for this one... For this one, we pick I want to respond to you. I still want to respond to it.
Huh?
I hadn't gotten a chance to say anything to him, but he was already cutting the conversation short. That really wasn't fair. It's true that, like you said, it's probably not the time to respond now. But that doesn't mean I'm going to just forget what you told me. I'm gonna sit up again. If those words really came from your heart, Adolpha, then I want to reply to you properly. Even if my response is something simple like thank you or I'm sorry. Because of that. We can skip. Now, do you guys... Yeah, I was coughing. I had a little bit of a cough. I'm not sure if it's better to skip like this or super skip. I mean, super skip gets us to the next choice quicker. Yeah, I'll super skip. Yeah, I'm gonna drink some water now. My poor throaty. Yum yum. Right. And for this one, we need to make another save. Because we come back here for the Salvation End. And then we try to stop him. And from here, I think I'm gonna use this one. So yeah, after we finish this is the final despair end to do. So after we finish this, we'll get a special cutscene for the despair endings, and then after this we'll be able to go back to that choice and do the salvation end. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna super skip. Rain, bite, bite, nom, 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 nom. Although you probably don't want me to bite you. You know, with the electrotoxicity and all. Be one hell of an electrifying death, though. I wish to be home. I'm already home. Oh. Okay, so we've gotten all the way to the point where Ceres and Adolpha / Anku are revealing his past. And yeah. Ceres called for Adolpha, but it wasn't him. It was the Watchman of Death. It was then that Adolpha finally realized Anku's true identity.
セレスを失った。未来から来た。俺。
We can be your home. Aww. Found family trope. A future that Adolpha may have reached. Well, cozy in the sense of, like, I don't know, how cozy can we be when we're playing Depression the game? I swear, the next game we play is not gonna be this sad. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm not sure about Olympia Soiree. I don't know much about its plot. I know the general synopsis. It could be super dark. I don't think it is, though. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Olympia Soiree is not this bad. He immediately understood their possibility, but he still wouldn't allow her to die with him.
とにかくセレスを話せ、アンク。お前が誰だろうと、そいつをこのまま放置して死なせるわけにはいかない。
We can support each other through our sadness.
なら何ができるって言うんだ。無意味な治療を施して死ぬのを先延ばしにし。
You say that as if we didn't agree to do that in a different ending.
死を願うほどの苦痛をより長くこいつに与えるつもりか。それが惚れた女を救うためのお前の対処とやらなのか。
違う。もっと別の方法だ。
We go back in time again. Adolpha managed to voice a slur of hope that had just come to mind.
一か八か。この国の外に出て、そいつを治療できる医者を探す。
思案を超える研究者など、この世界に生まれているわけが。
Anku, you yourself stole a time travel device from a scientist from outside the country.
そんなの探してみねえとわからねえだろ。俺はこいつの命を諦めない。まだ告白の返事だってもらってねえんだ。セレスを助けるためならどんな脆い希望にだってすがりついてやる。
As we're talking about depressing games, since we're also on the topic of depressing games, there is one thing I'm gonna have to ask you guys. I have purchased
その
the
言
fan
葉
disc
後
for
悔するなよ。
this game. Now, I usually, like, I've been playing fan discs off stream. For example, I've been playing the Radiant Tail fan disc off stream. My question to you guys is, are you guys okay with me playing the fan disc after, like, off stream? Or do you guys want me to stream it? Because I could stream it, but that's also more depression game. I can also just play it by myself off stream, and we can move right on to a non-depressing game. Anku lifted Ceres in his arms and handed her over to Adolpha. Anku looked on as she breathed with pain, knowing new despair awaited in their future. Half a year later. Rip. Half a year later, no miracle had occurred. Every doctor we met said that she couldn't be cured. The only option was to extend her life. With no place to go, with no other place to go, we ended on the shores of an unknown country with only pain to share among us. It hurts. Please kill me. She kept pleading to me in
これ
silence.
で君もよくわかっただろ
The watchman of death mercilessly spoke to me from behind as she lay limp in my arms.
必ずしも生かすことが救いになるとは限らない。これ以上彼女のことを苦しめたくないのなら殺してやるべきだ。
I've never heard of that game, to be fair, to be honest. Hearing the words I spoke, I drew out the dagger she gave me and raised it to the air with both hands. My hand shook violently. I couldn't do it, just as I was about to let go of the dagger. Adolpha, thank you. What had I done? I didn't wish for a miracle to happen just so I could hear her thank me in a voice filled with despair. Before I could say anything. Squelch. I swung my arms down and drove the blade into her chest. A single blow, the moment she asked for it. The girl I loved. I quickly brought an end to her and our times together. I killed her. I really killed her. I vaguely remember it, but I also don't. I'm sorry. If you did, I forgot. If you didn't, I probably would forget anyway. And in the worst way possible, her heart full of despair.
セレスセレスセレスセレスすまない俺はお前になんてことを
No matter how much I cried out to her with regret, she would never return to me.
第二の漂流者
Uncle put his hand on my shoulder as I cried.
今から本来の故郷に戻る気力はあるかい
あるわけねえだろ
Black blood flowed out of Ceres as I held her hand.
俺はもうどこにも行かない死ぬまでここにセレスのそばで 共に朽ち果てる。お前があのリコリスの花畑で終わりを選ぼうとしたのと同じように、俺の死に場所は今ここで決まったんだ。決めたんだ。それがこいつを無理やりに生かし苦しめてきた俺の償いだ。
That will probably be somewhere between 10 and 15 for me, I think. What I did for her wasn't anything close to salvation. I only prolonged Cereza's suffering. Again and again I ignored her silent pleas for me to release her from life. I disregarded her request. So it was only fitting that I die too.
あいつと同じ場所に行く資格なんて俺にはねえんだ。
Anko accepted my resolve with gloom.
君と彼女が真実に近づくにつれ、もしやとは思ったんだが、結局アドルフという男は何をどうあがこうとも大切な女一人守れない無力な普通の人間だったということか。
Well, you can post a link to it in the Discord, if you haven't already, and I can check it out after stream.
だが決断次第で君は生きた彼女と再会し救うことができる。そう私が言ったらどうする？
What did I say? Depending on your choice, you can still see her again and try to save her.
何？
Oh, was Anku gonna suggest time traveling again? The Watchman of Death presented me with a sweet fruit known as a miracle.
時を超える技術。つまりお前と全く同じ運命をたどった末にその装置を奪うことができれば俺は生きているセレスともう
I
一
mean,
度出
honestly,
会え
it's
る
an
んだ。
option, because, like, Anku, his mistake was waiting too long, right, to start eating the flowers to build antibodies, right? If they go back in time, together even, way back when, like, if they repeat what Anku went through again, but this time with the knowledge that, you know, to make the antibodies, you've got to start eating the flowers way earlier, he can, you know, as soon as he starts planting the flowers 500 years before Cereza's born, they can start eating the flowers straight away, pretty much. Anku starts eating the flowers to do antibodies. And, I mean, if Anku and Adolpha go back in time together as well, Adolpha can keep planting the flowers while Anku eats the flowers to make antibodies so that they can work together. Right? They work together to make the antibodies from the beginning. Then when Cereza's born, that means that the antibodies are completely ready, right? Because the issue this time around is that Anku didn't realize he would have to make antibodies because he didn't know until he talked to the Drifter that the Lycris flowers don't neutralize the toxins, they just absorb them, right? So by the time Ceres was born, the antibodies weren't ready. He could only, you know, watch her grow up and eat more and hope that they were ready eventually. But if they went back in time with that knowledge, then, well, now they know they can start eating the flowers straight away to to build up the antibodies. Not even to mention that the current Anku already has antibodies, so they're pretty much doubling up to make sure that they will have super amount of antibodies. So by the time Cereza's born, right, the antibodies are going to be more than ready to work, right? She could be safe from the moment she's born. It would take, again, another 500 years for Anku and another 500 years for Anku and would be a super long time for Adolpha, but I feel like it would be worth it. Like, it would work to make it so that they have antibodies ready for when she's born. Yeah, exactly. They would be able to move and prepare earlier. Especially because, extending the period from 18 years to 23 years is what leads Dahut to be born. Like, with just all the knowledge they've gathered from this timeline, Anku and Adolpha going back in time together would be able to prevent so much more things, right? Cerez would be cured from birth because they have the antibodies, right? They have the antibodies needed. And then from there, they can go to Chien straight away and be like, hey, here is my DNA, here is my blood. We can make a cure for the curse right now. Here is everything we know. Well, I guess, no. Because of the way time travel works in this, they wouldn't be able to tell Chien how they know all this, right? Because of how time physically doesn't let you explain things to someone else. But they would be able to at least probably go to Chien and be like, hey, I have antibodies for the curse. Make a cure from it. And then they also know that Salome is the queen. They know that Dahut's Liam, so that they could go to Salome and be like, hey, Liam is alive. He's pretending to be Dahut at the Institute. Go and save him. We can go to Dahut and be like, hey, Salome's your mum. We can work together and have you revive as proper humans together. Like, they would, I don't know, I feel like they'd be able to fix so much things if they just thought about going back in time one more time,
ああ、だが失敗すればより深い絶望に彼女を突き落とすことになるかもしれない。それと口で言うほど簡単なことではないよ。私と同じ人生をたどるということが何を意味するのか、本当に理解しているのかな。この技術が確立されるのは数十年どころか100年以上先。
Oh, right, yeah. Anku would have to do, yeah. Adolpha would have to go through the same experiments that Anku experienced under Chien in order to get the immortality, right? Because Adolpha right now is not immortal because he only becomes immortal after Chien experiments on him.
その間にむごたらしい同じ実験を施され、人を外れた不死の化け物になり、死を願っても死ぬことができない。その絶望と孤独を耐え続けた末に、あの時に戻ることができたとしても。
Yeah, but he has the information now that, I mean, I don't know, I feel like this Adolpha going back in time would succeed, or at least have a better chance, because he knows from the get-go that he needs to, eat the Lycurus flowers much more quicker to get the antibodies.
人間だった頃の面影がまるでないこの姿では、アドルフとして認識されないだろう。むしろそこには すでに彼女が慕うアドルフが先にいる。アンクーでは永遠に気持ちを傾けてもらえない。その絶望を食らう覚悟が君に本当にあるのかい？
Like, obviously there is still room for failure, but I feel like at the very least, knowing from the beginning that you have to consume the Lycoris flowers in order to produce the antibodies would allow for much, much more chance of success, right? Because Anku, Adolfo travels back in time 500 years before Cereza's born. He starts planting the flowers straight away because Eve gave him some. It's only until 100 years before Cereza's born that he the Drifter finally comes and he talks to the Drifter, and the Drifter tells him, well, no, actually, they just absorb the poison, they don't neutralize it, so you're gonna have to consume them in order to make antibodies. But again, there's only 100 years before Cereza's born, so they're kind of like 50-50ing on whether or not it's going to be ready by the time Cereza's born. If he starts eating them 200, 300, 400 years before Cereza's born, then he's going to have the antibodies ready when she's born, 100%. And that's kind of all they really want to focus on, right? Adolfo's main goal is just to make sure that Cereze lives a normal life. So they neutralize her toxic ability when she's born because they have the antibodies ready, and then from there, you know, as Anku, he can probably guide her through life and be like, and kind of as a guide, provide hints, you know, towards what the actual curse is, where it comes from, much, much earlier. They would have, yeah, exactly, they would have such a much better chance.
当たり前だ。セレスを救うことができればそれでいい。たとえ救った先の未来でこいつの隣にいるのが俺以外の人間でも構わない。俺じゃダメなんだ。
Like, because in this life, if Adolfo is quite literally like, I don't care if she loves me, I don't care if we end up together, she could be with anyone that isn't me, instead of becoming like if Anku if this Adolfo goes through all that Anku did, cures her of her affliction at birth, then he could raise her as like more of a father figure than a brother / romance figure, and kind of guide her to, you know, lead her in the way of, you can solve the curse yourself, as a mentor figure, so that Cereze then can find the cure, tell everyone, hey, this is the problem, this is what the problem is, you know. Like, if he's okay with not being her romantic interest, he could take a life as a mentor figure and, you know, let Cereze be kind of raised by someone, not hopping between orphanages, you know? At the very least, Adolfo was not fit to become a hero to Cereze. There had to be a better fate available to
で
her.
は彼女を導く死の番人の役目は君へと託すとしよう。
I mean, I guess, well, because being cured of the Lycoris effect from birth, she would still die at 23 because of her genes. Being born in the country kind of locks you to that. So she would still have only 23 years. She could relive as a reliver if she wanted to, but there's still the curse problem, and I feel like the majority of people would want to, because again, in this hypothetical scenario, Anku, this Adolpha turned Anku again, would be raising her on the thing of like, one day you will find out what, like, she would be raised with ideas from Anku / Adolpha of like, the curse is there is a real problem. The curse can be cured. One day you will find it. You will find the cure to the curse, and you will save this country. Like, he could subtly, over the years of her life, be like dropping hints to her throughout her life of like, try going here, try doing this. Yeah. Yeah, kind of like the same way heroes are like the same way you would raise a king or a prince, right? One day you will be king, one day you will do this. It's like subtly guiding her to find salvation, true salvation.
お前はどうするんだ?
私は彼女が死ぬ瞬間を2度も見てしまったからね。もう限界なんだ。これ以上この心がきしんでしまう前に、自分で自分を終わらせたい。
With that, Anku took out some kind of iron weapon to kill himself with and pointed it at his heart. But his decision was without much meaning, so...
なら、俺が解釈してやる。
I mean, okay, Adolpha, let's... Adolpha and Anku aren't very smart, which is like... as much as I love them as characters, they're not very clever. So I do, like, even if this Adolpha does go back in time, there is still a sizable chance he fails, because I love him, but he's not as clever as he would like to think he is. I'm just gonna say it here and now. Adolpha, before you go back in time again, Anku is right in front of you. This Anku has perfectly ready antibodies. Please use your brain. Please use your brain and collect at least some portion of Anku's blood, DNA, or a piece of his body to preserve, so that when you go back in time, as a final backup, if you cannot get antibodies in time, you have a piece of Anku that Shien can research to derive a cure from, as a final backup plan. Like, just, because that's what I would do, right? Like, as a final failsafe, if I am unable to produce the antibodies in time by eating the licorice, you at least have a part of Anku that has his antibody DNA in it, so that you can give it to Shien as early as you can and be like, hey, this can give you a cure. So that Shien can do something with it, because Shien absolutely would be able to work a cure. I moved away from Ceres and faced Anku, his eyes filled with despair.
俺だって、お前自身だろ。
Yeah, for real. I'm a homunculus and I don't have a brain. The fact that it makes sense means it can't happen in a story. I know! That's the frustrating thing.
だから、断言できる。お前は絶対に自分で引き金を引けない。死にたいと願う気持ちは本物でも。
There's so many stories out there that if the characters just made a logical, sane decision that someone in real life would choose, there would not be a story.
あいつのことを考えるだけで もう一度会いたいという思いが溢れて躊躇する。ずっとそんなことを繰り返して自分で自分を絶望させてきたんじゃないのか。
I don't like him, but I was him, so I understood how he felt.
当たりだよ。まるで私の奇跡を実際に見てきたかのようだね。だが私はもうその彼女を思う自分の感情すら憎らしい。
だったらなおさら俺に任せろ。
I took the weapon out of Anku's hand and wrapped my finger around the trigger. Yeah, see, exactly. Batman could have gotten nice, good therapy and become a philanthropist. Or, yeah, dress up as a bad punch clown. My target was his chest, which held his desperation for both life and death.
二度目の絶望を与えた責任を取ってその躊躇と未練ごと殺してやる。
感謝する。彼女を頼んだ。君の永遠の旅路にどうか希望があらんこと。
Also, just gonna say, as someone who played Steins Gate, watching someone you love die twice and having that be your limit is loser behavior. Just gonna say, just gonna put it out there. As someone who has played Steins Gate, watching someone who you love die twice and then giving up, just gonna say that's weak sauce. Okabe Rentaro watched Mayuri and Kurisu die like 5 bagillion times before he gave up. So, like, I'm just gonna say, you could have tried again. You could have given it one more time, Anku. Probably. Probably. I love Steins Gate, though. I saw off Anku as he met his end and crumpled to ashes. I then went to Ceres and held her hand as she slept.
すぐ迎えに行く。待ってろ、セレス。この先何度絶望を繰り返すことになったとしても俺はお前を必ず救ってみせる。
Oh, this ending has... Oh, this ending has Adolpha as the sprite, not Anku. I need to blow my nose. Give me a sec. Yeah. I'm gonna limit that just a bit. Oh. Yeah. Hey, here we go, cutscene! So does this version of Anku then start eating the flowers earlier then? Or does he wait until the same time again?
生きているセレスに会いたい。生きているセレスに。まだセレスは生まれてこないのか。どうして俺はこんな場所で一人誰にも知られずのたうち回ってる。どうしてもう一人は嫌だ。このままここで一人痛みに焼かれ続けるぐらいなら死に逃げたい。
But still.
君の生きている姿が見たいんだ。はじめまして、死神のお嬢さん。
No, it's happening the exact same way again, so I'm guessing he waited until the drifter told. Like, I don't know, man. This version of Anku should know that it's gonna take way longer than 100 years to get the antibodies, so he should have started eating the flowers earlier.
私はこの国の死の番人、アンク。
Planning is for the weak. Planning is for the fucking stupid.
悲劇に嘆く麗しい姫君にとある契約を持ちかけるべく冥界より馳せ参じた。私との約束を果たしたら君を普通の女の子に生まれ変わらせてあげよう。
It's so dumb. Bitch, you know that you needed to start eating the flower. Like, you know that the flowers don't neutralize the poison. Why would you wait until the exact same time, you know, to eat the flowers? Start eating the flowers earlier so you have the antibodies ready by the time she's born. Also, did Anku actually ever tell? Oh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. When Adolpha confronts Ceres, he tells them his life story, doesn't he? Oh, goodness. You might be right, though. Cause like you might be right. We were shown the whole story, but you might be right. But then that's Anku's fault for not fucking telling them anyway. Yeah, like... No, I'm fairly certain he did mention it. He did tell them. Because after we get the flashback, Anku has like a moment of like, yes, I am you. Here's how it happens. I'm pretty sure he does tell them. We finally reunited. I won't let you die on me again ever. I'll protect you this time. Even if it means I kill my very own self who got in the way of your salvation before.
お前が笑って生きられる未来のためならどれだけ傷ついた
Oh, see, this counts as... Okay, this counts as a... Yeah, this is another canon Desperian. But for this one, it's more Adolpha themed than Anku themed.
何度だって絶望してみせる。
Either that or it also could just be that fate decided to fuck with them and be like, well, actually no, now it's gonna take even longer for you to develop the antibodies because fuck you, stop messing with my timeline. Like Father Time just decided to fuck him over. Like, no, fuck you. You keep going back in time and screwing with my timeline. No, now it's gonna take longer. So even if you start early, it's not gonna be enough. Fuck you. Which would be awful. But, guys, we get to do the Salvation End now. We get to do the Salvation End now. That is in character for Father Time. That's also true. Vindictive asshole. Lamau. But yay, we get to do Salvation End. We get to do, hopefully, happy ending now. Yay, salvation! And I think because, depending on how long this Salvation End takes, honestly, we might do the other characters' Salvation Ends in this stream, depending on how long it takes. So for this, we finally reunited. Yes.
大丈夫だ姫君。また遅れを取って君を心配させるようなことはしない。
And then yeah, we'll jump to next unread text. See where the things diverge. God, a lot of it seems to be the same. But yeah, the Salvation End is called Death's Demise. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's a different cut. It's a different thing. Okay, here we go. Okay, so everything is the same up until when they reach the point where they're in the Lycaris field. Okay. Anku. Adolphus' wish. He lived through hundreds of years in the past and future. So yeah, everything's up all exactly the same until we get to the point where Anku's just revealed his identity as Adolpha, and we're in the Lycaris field. Okay. He traveled through time so that he could see me again and save me from my fate. He overcame his fear of this unknown technology. In Adolpha's eyes, I could see him pleading to me to nod in agreement. Beyond my blurred vision, I could see Adolpha anxiously awaiting my reply. I could feel another flower bloom across my skin from the pain running through my body. I was sure I would die a ghastly death. My breathing sounded like a growl of a beast. The inside of my throat felt like it was inflamed and beginning to rot. My groans were dry and raspy. Once the toxins had completely consumed my body, the beautiful light crystals on my skin would cover me head from toe. That's when the pain completely crushed the last thoughts of my mind. Would I scream like some hideous beast until my final breath? Now is my chance to die as a human. If I died now, I could avoid having Adolpha see me die a gruesome death. If he saw me die in such a way, both Adolpha and Adolpha would completely break. Still, I shook my head in response. I swallowed to try and moisten my throat. I needed to hurry before I completely lost the ability to speak. Live. Because... confession. I... reply. Promise. No matter how much I suffered, no matter how hideous I became, I couldn't break this promise.
俺の見立てだとあと5年は確実にかかる。だからその前に死なれたり別人に仕立て上げられたら困るんだ。
At least 5 more years.
そんなの叶ったとして死ぬよりも辛い思いをすることになるんだぞ。
In the other ending, where Anku and Adolpha take her to Cheyenne to prolong her life, that is the reason why it's a bad ending, I think, is maybe because they do it without Cereza's consent. But because this time around, she is like, live. Let me live. 5 more years. Like, she's refusing to die. Then it makes it a good ending because it's her. She wants to stay alive so that she can fulfill her promise, even if it hurts her.
そこまでして命を捧げる価値が
Is the current read I'm
俺
having on
に
the
はあると
situation?
いうのか。
Could be wrong.
救うことも守ることも満足にできやしない。どこまでも無力な存在なのに。
You are worth it. I knew that it would hurt a lot to die without keeping my humanity, and I was very scared. But it was scary to think of not being able to fulfill my promise with Adolpha. Yeah. A shadowy figure walked toward Anku as he looked at me with horror.
説得は諦めろ。こいつの頑固さはマム譲りだ。
Adolpha was standing next to Anku, holding me in his arms. He crouched to the ground and gently wiped the sweat from my forehead.
本当に頑張れるんだな。
I nodded.
俺は惚れた女を手にかけるなんてごめんだから。後から楽になりたいと泣き叫んでも絶対に殺してやらねえぞ。
I nodded and smiled weakly. If I ever ask for such a thing, don't go easy on me. Make sure to scold me, okay? Yeah, I think the reason why this is framed positively is because this is her choice. In the other ending, they kind of just keep her alive because, for their own selfish reasons, right? The other ending where they keep her alive as a kind of living doll is their own selfishness rather than Cereza's personal self-sacrifice, right?
ああ、任せろ。
In this one, she's agreeing to the pain for the sake of their future. Adolpha stroked my hair one last time before his fingers moved away.
だそうだ。俺もこいつが望むのなら、どんな絶望にも付き合うつもりでいる。
Yeah, yeah. The fact that they took her agency away from her is what caused the bad ending, I think. Next, Anku's fingers gently touched my cheek.
おかしいな。お前、こんなに強い女だったか？お前のことだけは、どんな些細なことも忘れていない自信があったのに。
I was inspired by the carefree watchmen of death. I left the orphanage. I explored and gained a lot of experience. Maybe that's why I've changed.
そうか。俺が原因か。それは、さすがに盲点だった。
After rubbing my cheek as if to praise me, Anku's fingers moved away. The sorrow in his eyes at my refusal of his offer went away as he blinked his eyes. His eyes now showed resolve. He then looked sharply at Adolfo and crouched next to him.
セレスが強くなろうが、目の前にいる俺が変わっていなければ意味がない。お前の意志を優先すると言っておきながら、本音はただの定年で、理由付けや責任をお前に委ねている可能性も大いにあり得る。だから、こいつが今のお前を託すにふさわしいか。
上等だ。
I felt myself gently laid into a bed of licorice noises. They then walked together until they reached some distance away from me. The burning heat inside me was burning my vision, but I could still see them from where I lay. They stopped, then turned to face each other a few paces apart. I could hear the ground rumbling from its destruction brought upon our Virche by its young king.
自分との戦いか。
They're seriously gonna
こ
spar.
んなに意味のない戦いをするのは初めてだ。
Take her to Chien, you dumb fucks. Okay, fine. Whatever.
それは私も同じだよ。
It's okay. We've got to let them have their pissing contest first, apparently. The two then brought out their weapons at the same time. Yeah, look at his fucking sci-fi gun. Adolfo, you really shouldn't bring a sword to a gunfight. In Anku's hand was a strange iron device with its cylinder pointed towards Adolfo.
飛び道具か。剣の道は諦めたのか。
Exactly. I mean, honestly, Kaze, they're the same person, so I don't even think it counts as cheating. Like, if you're screwing two clones of the same person, is it really cheating? I don't think so.
この姿になる過程で筋肉が失われてしまったんだ。
Screw you, Epic Game Store. No, I do not want to pre-purchase Borderlands 4. Fuck off. Yeah, it's just Boyfriend Plus. Exactly. So I gotta pop up. I got an on-screen notification from the Epic Game Store. Pre-purchase Borderlands 4. No, thank you.
軽く振る程度なら問題ないが、すぐ重さに耐えきれなくなってしまう。
貧弱め。
無個性よりはいいだろ
う。This would be the last of the playful banter I enjoyed seeing from them.
時間がない。手短に済ませよ
う。わかってる。
From the horizon in the distance, a strong gust of wind was carried from the direction they once called home. It blew through the licorice that existed for hundreds of years. The petals had bloomed with one man's love soared in the air. The next moment, two people with the same Two people with the same genes clashed in battle. Adolfo. Hot. Look at them fighting. Something came flying toward me. Anku probably just showed me mercy by hitting the sword first instead of me. This is my new weapon. Let's see you beat me. I bet he was taunting me in his mind. I could only assume the weapon he was using came from hundreds of years in the future. I faintly remembered seeing something in my homeland called a gun that could shoot metal projectiles or bullets one at a time. But I didn't recall ever hearing about a gun that could shoot accurately and in rapid succession. My cheek, my arm, my leg. The bullets grazed me, sending blood into the air. For some reason, my regenerative power wasn't able to heal the wounds.
どうした？逃げてばかりでは勝負にならないぞ。
Yeah, burning the flowers would make things exponentially worse.
やかましい。そんなことは分かってる。
But it's a good nuke option if you just want to nuke the whole city, the whole town, the whole country. I knew that, but his weapon was too dangerous for me to stand in one place. Did I have to swat away the bullets he shot at me with my
バ
sword?
カ言え。そんな芸当ができるのは先代かリュカ先生ぐらいだ。そもそも弾を見切ること自体俺にはできない。
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. Especially like, because I'm pretty sure at the time you suggested that we didn't really know the true story of the Lycorises. They were just kind of evil black flowers at that point in time. Maybe I could dodge the bullets and get closer like Eve
そ
would.
んな器用な真似ができるほど俺は身軽じゃない。
Then what could I do? Win with the power of love. I recalled what the boss told me before when he was teaching me how to use a sword.
お前には優れた資質はあるが、抜きんでた才能はない。
Ouch. You have qualities, but your talent is not exceptional. Ow. The only reason I was able to swing a sword was because I was able to grow past 23 years of age. But that was it. It would take its toll and force me back into my true position as a normal person. I remembered how disgusted I felt when I realized how mediocre I was.
不満そうな顔をするな。それは決して悪いことではない。攻守ともに安定してるお前の戦い方は、実直に粘り強く戦うことに向いている。
The boss went on to tell me that endurance was what was needed to lead a group through battle, and named me the next leader.
いいか、アドルフ。譲れぬ戦いで一人剣を振るう場合、お前に最も必要とされる行動は
Just one thing. Move forward. Move forward. Just keep moving forward. Yeah. I don't need an unaware. That is a good point. Sounds very old for someone who would only be 23. At most. 22 at most. I don't need an unwavering heart or superhuman strength or deep knowledge to do what a normal person could
た
do.
とえ全身が鉄の塊にうがたれたとしても
As long as I didn't retreat behind the person I was supposed to protect.
目と鼻の先で血まみれの自分の顔を拝む気分はどうだ。
最悪だよ。ところで俺は前からこんな戦い方ができる男だったかい。
俺もお前が引き寄せた修羅場の中で嫌でも鍛えられたんだ。
なるほど。なら変化し成長し合う者たちの未来を数百年も停滞するだけの男が邪魔するわけにはいかないな。
It didn't matter if he possessed immortality. The winner of this meaningless battle was the one who could bend the will of the other. I pulled my head back as far as I could and butted it straight into Anku's forehead. He staggered back from the pain and shock. Still, the two exchanged their final blows and... Ooh. Also, I quickly want to look at this. Oh! Look! They're both pulsing now. Remember when we checked last time only Anku's side was doing the pulsing? Now Adolfa's side is too. Sorry. My eyebrow's itchy. Why is my eyebrow itchy? That is so weird. Give me a sec. Yeah. I think I've got like a pimple on my eyebrow. And it's itchy. Ah. The thruple ended, yes. The two of them groaned at the same time, but one of them stood tall as the other fell with blooming flowers of blood. Anku, who fell, was bleeding profusely from his shoulder down to his waist. The final bullet did not hit Adolfa's heart, but his side. Unfortunately, the bullet was still inside and causing him to grimace with pain.
わざと負けたのか。
まさか私とお前では勝利の条件が違ったということさ。
Not understanding what Anku had just said, Adolfa tried to ask for details when Adolfa's heart, which avoided the bullet, suddenly roared like a beast. Adolfa? He held his chest down as if his heart was about to burst through his skin. The next moment, his skin bloated for a moment. Oh. He's getting the full healing power from Anku. He has... sorry, that was a weird way to play. He's got Anku's full healing ability now. The wounds he sustained began to heal even more quickly than before.
私が最後に放った銃弾には元いた時代から持ってきた特殊な薬が埋め込まれていてね。変異した細胞をさらに無理やり変異させる。
So yeah, now Adolfa has the same... Adolfa now is the exact same as Anku, I'm guessing.
私がこの不死の肉体になる原因となった憎き天才の作った薬だ。
Wait. Which means that the bullet lodged inside Adolfa's body was going to...
お前も私と同じ末路をたどることになるかもしれない。
Immortality, motherfucker! No.
お前は私とは違ってこの薬を打たれる前からすでに不死になりかけていたからな。 もっと違う結果になる可能性がある。
He went on to say that perhaps Adolphus' genes might transform into something that could help suppress my genes. Anku then mumbled.
運試しだ。
Mm.
彼女に寄り添える新たな遺伝子を獲得できるよう
Yeah, okay. So Anku's not doing this
願ってい
maliciously.
る。
He's hoping that mutating Adolphus' genes further will eventually lead to something that can lead to happiness.
私はも
That
う
could help Ceres.
疲れたから一足先に冥界に行っているよ。
お前
Confused, Adolpha paused for a moment, then moved away. He returned to me to carry He returned to carry me in his arms, then walked back to Anku. Finally, he slowly lowered me so that I could hold Anku's hand. Anku, are you alright? You're bleeding badly. You're going to be okay, right? But Anku wasn't extending his hand to me. He merely gave me a warm smile, then pointed his gun at his own heart. What? The bullet he had in there was the same one that was causing Adolpha to change.
この銃弾は私にとってお守りだった。もしも君を救えない運命に直面し完全に狂ってしまった時に自ら命を絶てるように。
I reached out with shaking fingers and held Anku's open hand. Don't. Please. I begged him like a child. Anku didn't respond. Adolpha said nothing.
お前を失ってお前が生まれてくるまでの間あまりにも苦しくて寂しくて今まで何度もこの弾を使おうとした。でもその度に思いとどまった。
The reason.
生きて希望を手にしたお前の心からの幸せそうな笑顔を一目でいいこの目で見たかったんだ。
Even if it took hundreds of years.
だがその願いはたった今叶った。 アドルフへの告白の返事をするために生きると苦しみながらもそう言い切った時のお前の笑顔は世界で一番幸せそうな美しい笑顔だったよ。これでもう思い残すことはない。
No. The finger that was hooked around the trigger wasn't shaking. Anku gave me one last gentle smile. Then shot himself in the heart. Anku had used his body for hundreds of years. I'm gonna time you out for that. No. Anku used his body for hundreds of years, and his cells were so worn that they could not withstand the medicine. Anku fell to the ground, spilling a river of blood from his chest.
ほら、お待ちかねの特効薬の原料だ。普通の呪い、毒素には効果があるから、アドルフの変貌した細胞と組み合わせれば、セレスの治療にも使えるかもしれないぞ。
Just as he finished speaking, everything apart from Anku's blood slowly turned to charcoal and began to crumble away. Anku!
セレス、アンクーのために耐えられるか？
Yes. Hearing my response, Adolfo used his dagger to cut a bunch. Hearing my response, Adolfo used his dagger to cut a bunch of blooming Lycoris noises nearby. He then tied some of the stems around to make them a bouquet.
Bukakkou 不格好なのは許せ。花束なんて今まで一度も作ったことがないんだ。
He shoved the bouquet into Anku's cold hand.
これは何のつもりだ。最後ぐらい静かに死なせてほしいんだが。
寝ぼけてんじゃねえ。お前がイブたちに伝えたんだろうが。このリコリス・ノワージュは愛しい女への求婚のために植えた花なんだと。どれだけ意味嫌われ迫害されても顔も知らない男の話を信じた俺たちの親友が必死に守り続けてくれた花なんだ。ただのおとぎ話で終わらせることは絶対に許さね
え。漂流者イブ、私の魂の契約者と私のせいで私のために失われた親友。
Anku's eyes welled up with tears. He tightened his grip on the bouquet.
セレス、大切な君へ愚かな死の番人から数百年の思いを込めたこの花束をどうか受け取ってほしい。
I didn't care how much I would suffer from the toxins being emitted from the bouquet of Lycorises. After all, their lives were nurtured for me by someone I held dear. Death note, yeah. I did my best to reach out and accept the black bouquet he offered. They're beautiful. I'm so happy. Thank you, Anku. My very own watchman of death. I smiled from the bottom of my heart and spoke the name of my precious friend. Anku's crimson eyes widened as his heart beat rapidly. Why? She called me by my fake
こ
name.
んなにも嬉しいんだ。
Ah, I see.
私は自分でも気づかない間にアンクーという名前を自分のものとして受け入れていた
I
の
love you,
か。
Anku.
君が何度も何度も親愛を込め嬉しそうにこの名を呼んでくれたから。実は本音を言うと少しばかり君の声や姿を忘れていたんだ。
The memories of my beloved, the very reason I lived, were painted with despair, solitude, and torture. Not being able to remember how Ceres looked or sounded made me weep countless times as I grabbed my hair at the roots. I questioned myself numerous
アン
times.
クーとして君と過ごせば過ごすほど色あせていた。愛しい記憶がよみがえるどころか
I should have felt more despair
不
then.
思議と嫌ではなかった。
I see.
数百年ぶりに触れ合った君は私の記憶の中の姿よりずっと綺麗になっていた。
The cells that made up Anku were slowly falling apart. But as he slowly disintegrated, his last words spoke of his love for me.
正体を悟られないように設定を考えてどれだけ恥ずかしくても耐えて演じた。死の番人としての私の一挙一動や振る舞いに驚き笑いからかえばすねる少女らしい表情のすべてがとても愛らしくてつい何度もからかってしまった。どうか許してほしい。
Of course. I enjoyed being with you. He went on to say that I told him I wanted. He went on to say that I told him I wanted to get rid of the curse for Adolpha. He shyly muttered that he was jealous that I would do so much for Adolpha.
君を守れなかった大嫌いな俺と子供のように揉めるだけで楽しそうに笑ってくれる。何度だって喧嘩してやろうと。
So he's basically admitting to messing with Adolpha because not only was it fun for him, but it made Ceres happy.
俺にたくさんの嫌味や皮肉を
King, I love you
言
so
っ
much.
てしまった。
言われるこっちの身にもなれ。
振り返れば振り返るほど私がアンクーとして過ごす君との日々だけは輝いていたな。セレス、今の君に出会えてよかった。この先にどんなに苦しい未来が待ち構えていようとも絶対に死ぬな。苦しんだ分より多くの希望と幸福をつかみ取ってやると力強く、そして数十年後の最後の時には真っ白な髪とシワだらけの顔でこいつを見とり子供に囲まれながら普通の人生を行くんだぞ。
I will. It was time to part ways with my other brother. Tears began to fill my eyes as I gave him my reply. He was always kind and strong, someone who protected me, someone I loved. I finally understood why I took your hand that day. Somewhere in my heart, I must have known that you were someone important to me.
そして俺
なんだ私。
告白の返事をもらうのに5年もかけるな。強引にでも迫って返事をもらえ。彼女は美しいからもたもたしているとあっという間にかっさらわれるぞ。
大きな世話だが肝に銘じておく。
やっと夜が明けるか。絶望と痛み、そして孤独だらけの途方もない旅路だったが、セレス、君にもう一度恋ができて嬉しかった。
Oh, shit.
ど
Yeah.
うか幸せに愛してた。
His confession of love in the past tense marked his end. Anku's body crumbled away, leaving behind his blood and the lycrases, the proof of his love over hundreds of years. A gentle wind carried his ashes to the sky. Salvation ending. We get a different song, eh? So yeah, we don't get a full answer, but I'm guessing the hope for the future is that with Adolphus' further mutated genes and Anku's blood, they go to Shien and find a cure. I mean, we'll get an after credit scene as well. But yeah, so Adolphus' genes have been supercharged with the medicine from the bullet, so they've mutated way fuller. But then Anku also shot himself with the same medicine in the heart, which probably would have mutated his genes a lot as well. So yeah, the idea of combining them to make a cure for both Ceres and the curse, I assume, is what the salvation is. It's just bittersweet because we lose Anku. Like, obviously, a more ideal ending is that Anku gets to live, but again, it's the bittersweetness of it, right? It's a good end because there is salvation, but yeah. Oh, here we go.
四方を海と
黒いリコリスに囲まれた小国アルペシェール。
Old people can get other old people. You know, there's hope.
この国で生まれ育った人間ははるか昔、この土地を司る死神が振りまいたという恐ろしい。長くとも23年しか生きることができなかった。だが若き王によって一度この国が崩壊してからおよそ5年経過した今は違う。
ここがかつて死神に見られていた国、アル
Oh
ペ
shit,
シェールか。
tourists!
開国されてから3年だっけ。どこに行っても賑やかだし、
Hey, we've opened to the world now.
少し前まで短命の呪いに蝕まれていたなんて嘘みたいね。
なあなあ、ところでリライバーって本当にいるのかな。
Oh, did they stop using Reliver technology as well?
保管していた記憶と感情を全部クローン体に引き継ぐことで作られた特殊な人間っていうあれ。
ちょっと怪しいわよね。ただのクローンならともかく、記憶も心もそのまま保てる生命なんて。
So, Reliver technology has either been discontinued or is done in secret and tourists don't know.
いるわよ。それもたくさん。
The tourists were taken aback when they heard a young girl with a cane respond to them.
びっくりした。そんな自信たっぷりに言い切るってことは君自身がリライバーなの？
いいえ、違うわ。私自身は普通の人間。
Is that Nadia?
でも私の周りにはリライバーがたくさんいるの。ここですれ違う人たちもそのほとんどがリライバーよ。
え、そうなのかい？どう見ても全員普通。
それはそうよ。
Oops, sorry, male tourist A. I cut you off.
リライバーはもう特別な生命じゃないから、区別の必要なんてないのだし。
見た目が変化しないとか、心が引き継げないとか、そんな悪い噂も聞いたけど。
そんな怖くて悪い噂はね。
Oh, did Chien actually fix quote-unquote relivers to not have that problem?
私の素敵なお友達が全部吹き飛ばしてくれちゃった。
Liam Revpure exterminated the royal family and sought the same fate for the people. The tragedy was somewhat thwarted, though. Though over half of the population died from the incident. But it also brought about a release from the curse that had devoured this country for ages. Reliver technology was no longer needed and thus sealed away. Current relivers were modified so that their emotions could be transferred fully. Oh, using the cells of a normal human, they were updated to be able to age. Okay, so yeah. Relivers have been fixed to the point where they have all their emotions and they can age now. Like a normal person. After the turmoil caused by the royal family, Arpachel emulated other countries and became a democracy. Xian, the talented scientist who created the vital antidote, became the representative of the new government to lead the people. Then again, he wasn't much of a politician, since the bulk of his time was spent pursuing his own interests and whatever caught his attention.
それじゃあ私もそろそろ会場に向かう準備をしないと。
こんなところにいたのですか、ナディア。
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry! Everyone's alive! Everyone's alive! Nadia's walking! A young man approached her, bearing a strikingly similar appearance.
兄様。
あ、ではありません。病が治癒に向かい、外へ自由に出られるようになったことに喜ぶ気持ちはわかり
Yeah,
ます
for real.
が、
If Sheehan wanted to get serious about politics, he would be fucking ferocious.
まだ経過観察とリハビリの最中なのですから、あまり一人で外出しないように。
ごめんなさい。青空の下がこんなに気持ちいいだなんて、少し前までは想像もできなかったから。それより兄様はどうしてここに？もしかして病院の帰り？
ええ、この後は彼の護衛に行く予定です。
Oh, is he still working from... I'm guessing, yeah, is he working as Sheehan's bodyguard? Nadia's brother, Lucas Proust, was a mass murderer who had taken many lives and should have been sentenced to death. But, at the behest of a genius scientist who was prone to making enemies, Lucas was appointed as his guard as punishment. In order to someday return to teaching, he also attended counseling sessions until he could heal from the minister's brainwashing.
そう。兄様の治療も順調みたいで安心したわ。
He was now being supported by his sister Nadia, who was recovering from her illness thanks to the very genius he was guarding.
そうそう。兄様も彼女のお祝いにはもちろん行くわよね。
いえ、それは遠慮しておきます。いくら元教え子とはいえ、私のような罪人は彼女たちから一線を引いておくべきで
I
しょう。
disagree, but fine.
もう、またそんなこと言って。確かに兄様は罪深い人かもしれないけれど、彼女を助けた一人でもあるんだから、お礼の気持ちがこもった招待状を無駄にしちゃいけないと思うわ。
それはそうですが。
それでも欠席するって言うなら私も行かない。兄様の罪には人質にされてた私にだって責任があるもの。
わかりました。私も同席しますから落ち込まないでください、ナディア。や
ったわ、約束よ。兄様大好き。
兄様も
Are they not showing Nadia because they don't have a sprite for her standing up?
大好きですよ。ところで、杖での移動はまだ訓練中でしたね。疲れたなら
For real.
私が背負っても。
ううん、いいの。
Nadia looked up to the blue sky after gently refusing her brother's offer.
私、自分の力で頑張るわ。
ん？
どうしようお兄さん、赤ちゃんがさっきから泣き止まない。もう少しで出発する時間なのに。
眠くてぐずっているのでは？背中を撫でつつ軽く揺らしてみてはどうでしょう。
Okay, fine, no. I don't forgive Jean for what he does to Mathis in his route, but since Jean has had character development and somehow has a baby, I forgive you for the I forgive you with asterisks because
よしよし、いい子。ゆっくり。
so I'm guessing they fixed Rosalie as well.
あ、よかった。寝てく
Well,
れた。
fine, but I'm watching you. Exactly, I'm watching you,
泣いてる
motherfucker.
理由がすぐわかるなんて。
I will let this slide, but
兄さんはやっぱりす
ooh,
ごい
I'm
ね。
watching you. At least Capuchin better be fucking dead. If Capuchin's dead, I'll be happy. Or at least doing manual hard labor for the rest of his life.
マティス坊ちゃん、その兄さんというのはやめませんか？
The Claude family governed knowledge in many forms. The baby slept in Mathis's arms as he turned his respectful gaze to his older brother.
なんだかんだで俺はあなたの執事に戻ったわけですから。
でも僕の中にある偽りの記憶のことを抜きにしても、ジャンは僕にとって執事である以前に
Mathis being like, you're gonna be my brother when you fucking like it or not.
僕という存在を生み、今まで導いてくれた兄さんでもあるから。
Accept the brotherhood.
あっそ。
Come on, John. You've got to admit, brother is better than being called dad. Because then you'll have 2 kids to deal with.
あ、また巣に戻った。
おっと、気が緩むとつい。
Yeah, I was about to say, like...
あっそ。いけませんね。天才小説家マティス大先生の執事ともあろうものが、先生の名に恥じぬようもっと気を引き締めなければ。
ジャンもその呼び方やめてよ。一冊趣味を兼ねて出しただけなのに。
I'm surprised that Camille was like, you know what, let me just go back to being a butler. I'm genuinely surprised that Camille was like, yeah, let me be a butler for the rest of my life. I thought he would want to be like, actually no, I want to be myself again. Mathis Claude was created as a vessel to nurture and grow false memories. Previously, he could only live a normal life through periodic downloads of memories each night, but after the incident, he underwent treatment by a Chien Brofes and was now able to live a life with minimal periodic maintenance. Chien would one day find a way to modify... Oh, yay! Chien would one day find a way to modify the eternal youth Mathis possessed as a homunculus. Right, yeah, okay. So right now Mathis is immortal because he's different from a human and a reliver, but Chien is, I guess, currently working to find a way to give him a normal lifespan. But until then, he had time to write another book filled with new memories from his experiences. He decided he would write about what happened in the series of incidents, with the title A Story of Despair and Salvation.
今の寝言かな。いつ見てもすごく可愛い。ほっぺなんてふくふくしてる。ほら、兄さんも抱っこしてあげて。この子は兄さんが引き取った養子でしょ。
Yeah, maybe, I guess, yeah. Probably was just easier to keep going as the butler.
お父さんならちゃんと愛してあげないと。
And he adopted a baby for some reason. I mean, you did adopt her as your own. Yeah, so it seems like, yeah, in this route, everyone's issues get fixed by Chien because Chien doesn't have to fucking worry about the curse anymore.
いえ、俺はちょっと。養子といっても、シアン様に罪
Chien
滅ぼし
forced
と
him
して
to adopt a
強
baby.
引に手続きされたわけで。
Here's your punishment. Fatherhood. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I find that hilariously funny. Here's your punishment. Become Dada. Lamau. I'm sorry. I find that endlessly hilarious. That's so funny. Here's your punishment. Be a dad.
この子のこと可愛く思えない？
To be fair, yeah. As someone who doesn't really want kids, I can fully agree.
そういうわけでは。ただ、俺は仮釈放中の身ですし、何よりその子の母親を。
Oh, is this the daughter of one of the prostitutes he killed? Sean had sought a heavier punishment for his crimes, but similar to someone else, Tien gave him a certain level of freedom under the condition that he support and serve the Institute. Of course, the work he was tasked with at the Institute was so hellish that he often felt the death penalty would have been more merciful.
そういう後悔も含めた上で、この子を愛してみろっていう罪滅ぼしなんじゃないかな。ほら、親子写真を撮ってあげるから、そこのカメラ貸して。綺麗に撮れたら、ロザリーさんのあの暖かい日差しが当たるお
Oh,
墓
okay,
に
so they did not bring
備えに
Rosalie
行こうよ。
back. They just gave her a proper funeral. Which, I guess, yeah, probably for the best.
僕も後で会いに行く彼女に二人の写真を撮ってくるって約束しちゃったから。
わかったよ。どっちにしろこのカメラは向こうで使いまくるつもりだったしな。
Hi, being an
う
uncle.
まく撮れた。
Yeah, exactly.
二人とも素
You
敵な
can
笑
give
顔
them
で写っ
back.
てる。
That's the best thing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. When I say like 90% of me, 90% of me is very, very certain they don't want kids. But I won't lie. Every time I see a cute kid do something cute or be adorable, the remaining 10% gets very, very, very loud. And then I see a kid packing a tantrum or shitting its pants, and then I'm like, yeah, no, the rest of the 90% is right. The 90% is very correct.
どうされました、坊ちゃん。
このカメラって研究所に返さなくていいの？
Same, right?
すごく貴重なものなんだよ
There's
ね。
like 90% that's like, nope, don't want kids. And then the 10% just gets really, really loud when you see a cute kid do something cute or be cute or be adorable or say something sweet and you're like, oh, cute baby, I want one. And then you see the negatives of a tantrum or... Yeah. Yeah. I'll just buy an AI baby later and turn it off when it throws a tantrum. Yes. Knowing that he added yet another crime to the list, Jean went pale at the thought of what was in store for him later. His butler's flustered expression made Mathis chuckle with a happy smile.
よし、これで旅支度完了っと。予定通り来週には出発できるかな。
なあ、
Oh,
本気で極東漂流
Eve's
者の
gonna
故
go
郷
to
まで
Japan,
一
guys.
人旅するつもりなのかよ。
うん、もちろん。始祖様の遺灰の一部を故郷に送り届けてあげたいから。
Oh, that's sweet. Seeing Eve pack his bag full of items, his partner gave an expression of mixed feelings. Eve Nawaj, the guardian of the Lycris Nawages, who was the key to lifting the curse of death, was also involved in the completion of the antidote. His attachment toward eating was so strong that he had been eating the Lycris bowls for a long time. Yes! We know that. And the reason why his cooking is so fucked up is because he kept trying to put them into food. His body developed antibodies needed to augment the blood from a certain man in order to create an antidote. Hey! So it's not even just Adolpha and Anku's blood together, but it's Anku, Adolpha, and Eve together made the antidote. With his blood, the antidote was finally complete. Even better, the unique burn marks on his face slowly thinned through the effects of the antidote, leaving them as normal scars. Nice. So they're not the weird, not the, the weird pulsy red ones that were like, because the reason why his scars were so quote unquote gross is because they were all red and blistery because the curse, like the toxins from the Lycris Noirs got in there and made it all gunky. Now his burns were nearly gone. He decided to leave his homeland to fulfill his ancestors' wish to return home.
だからしばらくクルーンはヒューゴに任せることになっちゃうけど。
やっぱ俺も行くわ。
I love you too much.
お人よしのお前一人じゃ騙されて無一文にされた末にのたれ死にしそうだからな。
Yeah. It seems like everyone's getting a happy ending in this route, which is so nice.
いいの？全然知らない土地に行くんだよ。危険だってあるかもしれない。
足りめえだ、イブ。俺はお前の相棒だぞ。
Hugo, just tell him you love him. You closeted motherfucker.
異国だろうが冥界だろうがどこにでも付き合ってやるよ。
ありがとう。心強いよ。嬉しいな。ヒューゴがそばにいてくれるなら
And they were
賑やかな
roommates
旅になるね。
forever and ever and ever until they died. Bruh.
そうだ、しばらく店を開けるならこの肥満魚どうする？なんだかんだで結構長く世話してるよな。
今日料理して食べちゃおっか。それともこの後向かうパーティーに持っていく？
それだけはやめろ。つか5年も飼ってんなら少しぐらいは愛着持ってやれよ。震えてんじゃねえか、かわいそうに。
I love them.
でもフグおいしい、フグ食べたいってマティスに訳してもらった始祖様の日記にも書いてあったし。
お前といい漂
Yeah,
流者
for
の
real.
国出身
They
の
were
人間
good
って
friends.
食い意地張ったやつばっかなのか？しっかりしろよ、この島の守護者殿。うっかり旅先で変なもん食って死んだりしたら笑えねえからな。
もうノワージュ家の使命はないよ。この島のリコリスはみんなで一緒に育ててるんだからね。名ばかりの管理人さ。リコリスの化身である彼女にだってちゃんと騎士様がついてるしね。
To be honest, I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel we were destined to be together in some way. There was a part of me that was drawn to Cereza's kindness and earnesty, but there is a new secret I would take with me to the grave.
おえ！シアン先生がまた議会から逃げたぞ！
Oh, okay, yeah. So Eve kind of still has a crush on Cerez, but because she's found happiness with Adolpha, he's just gonna keep it secret.
護衛のリュカさんを呼べ。シアン先生を捕まえることができるのはあの人しかい
Sheehan
ない。
fucking running away from a meeting. Of course he is.
今日中に承認してほしいことがまだ山のようにあるのに。ああ、めまいが。
まったく墓参りぐらいゆっくりさせろ。今日は予定があると伝えておいたというのに
Oh,
議
Salome's
会をね
grave.
じ込んでくるとは。
The genius scientist, Hien Brofes, who freed the country from the curse, was standing with a bottle of wine in hand.
鎖国を解除した途端、政治だの法整備だの研究所の日々が懐かしい。
So, is Hien a mayor, a president, or a prime minister?
今更だが有望な跡継ぎを失ったな。それから
Yeah.
戦友の女も。もっと俺が子に踏み込んでやればあの結末は避けられたのか。だがまあこうして親子揃って同じ墓に入れたんだ。
Aww.
せいぜい冥界では好きなだけ普通の親子喧嘩をしていろ。自覚はないだろうが、お前ら面倒な性格で裏表激しいところそっくりだ。
Shien poured the wine he randomly chose over the grave where the two of them slept. He then took a letter from his pocket. Hey! A letter requesting his presence in another country to collaborate in research on time travel. If Shien participated, it was likely the technology could be realized within a few years, but... yeah. Shien didn't read the letter and simply tore the plea sent under the guise of collaboration. Yeah, without the guidance of a genius loved by God, time travel would likely fade into mere fantasy. But that was fine. Shien existed in another timeline where he used Adolfo as a test subject and killed Eve. And still, that Shien could not find a way to get rid of the curse with their sacrifices. He could not accept another existence of himself foolish enough to accomplish nothing. Okay, so it seems like after Anku's death, Adolpha and Cerez probably just told everyone everything about how Anku went back in time. Anku was Adolpha who went back in time, did all the blah blah blahs. Yeah, it seems like everyone knows everything. He knew he would never tread that same path.
さて、そろそろ行くか。お前の息子と娘の新たなる始まり。柄ではないが、一応年長者として見届けてやらねばな。
Fortunately, he decided to pursue a new research topic, genetic disorders, which had no shortage of cases to explore. If he was indeed a god, he could be selfish and arrogant. As long as his work saved those who suffered in despair, who would judge him? Following the new emotions in his modified heart, he modified his Reliver heart to be more emotional. Shien, character development, yes. No wonder why he's okay with tolerating being a political leader. Following the new emotions in his modified heart, the man who became a god set out on a path that would lead him to even greater heights. Sorry.
この国は死神に見入られていた。この国は死に勝利した国である。
As the people chose to fight the curse, they began to live together with hope. The death that scornfully watched the humans being toyed with by death. Look! The ending is much better than I expected. For real, it's so much more happier than I thought it would be. Look! The Lycris field is all white and pretty now! Was watching the beautiful white Lycrises reminiscent of a wedding dress. Oh my god! Another beautiful bloom this year. I spoke to him standing next to me as we both gazed out in the pure white field of Lycrises.
ああ。ここからの景色なら、あいつらも満足するだろう。
5 years had passed. Shien developed an antidote to the toxins using the antibodies left by Anku, as well as Eve's blood. He then distributed the antidote across the country in the form of a mist, and finally released the land from the curse of death. Yeah, he was 25, right, before the time skip. So if it's been 5 years, he's 30. And Ceres would be, she's 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20. She'd be 24. Perhaps the toxins being purged from the country took effect. The black lycrases began to return to their original color. Most of them were now either red or white. And where we were now was one such field where the change had a drastic effect. It's already been 5 years since then. That day, that time, that moment. I was supposed to die a horrible death within hours of the toxins mutating my body, but I was alive and well now. It was all thanks to the bullet coated with the medicine that Anku shot into Adolpha. The bullet caused Adolpha's cells to mutate again, and he gained the ability to create antibodies that could fight poison and disease at rapid speed. He immediately drank some of my blood and developed antibodies in his blood, which then he gave to me to drink. His antibodies were strong enough to allow me to live through my mutation, but it only stopped the contamination from spreading. So I had to live 4 long years in pain, with the risk of dying at any time. But now I was standing here next to him as a normal human, all because of Adolpha, who continued to drink my blood, bearing the suffering that came with it until he could cure me completely. So similar to Anku, he used his own flesh and blood to prepare an antidote just for me. With that last dose, my powers as death, a trait I shared with the lycrases, vanished for good, along with the toxins that remained. Since then, with the help of Shien and the others we knew, I began formal medical treatment, and upon safely reaching 23 years of age and confirming that most of my skin had returned to normal. Oh no, she's 23. I thought she was 19. Okay, no, she's 18. She's almost 19 during the process of the game. We invited those who were involved in this incident to a party today to celebrate my full recovery. It was only a year ago I was practically a corpse. So, this all feels really strange. Adolpha's body also returned to that of a normal human after his abnormal cell division stopped. Oh, so he's no longer immortal. And he cut his hair, I'm sad. I'm sad he cut his hair. The Watchman of Death must have known this ending from the very beginning.
セレス、懐かしむのはいいが、肝心の話を忘れてないか?
Huh? Forgotten what? Adolfo looked at me with a frown on his face. But the frown quickly changed as he returned to his bold expression.
ちょうど5年前、俺がしたお前への告白の返事だ。
Yeah, he's not letting me end them. I'm more mad about him cutting his hair than anything else. Where's your long, beautiful hair gone, Adolpha? You're right. I'm sorry. Were you waiting for my reply?
当たり前だろう。あれから積極的になって散々お前に迫っては口説いてきたってのに、まさか本当に5年経っても返事がないなんて誰が予想できる？
The best I could do was apologize, or rather laugh it off.
もっと急げと言われたってのに、アンクーの墓にどんな顔を向ければいい？
No, I am very much long hair supremacy. Now that you mention it, you've gone to Anku's grave a lot. Anku was no longer him, but had become something like a separated twin.
それで返事は？まさかあと5年時間をくれとか言い出さないよな。
My body went tense as Adolpha took a step closer. Well, I'm sorry. As Adolpha went pale, I immediately realized I chose the wrong time to make my apology. I mean, no, it's not what you think. I meant that I'm sorry I didn't reply to you sooner. Adolpha, you seem a little jumpy.
惚れた女と恋人同士になれるかがかかってるんだぞ。男なら誰でも怯えるに決まってる。それにお前、俺がもう30歳を目前にしているのを忘れたか。これだけ片思いが続いてれば眼中にないんじゃねえかと焦るし、不安にもなる。
I suppose you're right. I did make you wait 5 years already. I looked up at Adolpha's face and noticed that he definitely matured since then. He was still Adolpha, but he also somehow didn't feel like the same Adolpha. I must not have been paying much attention to the little changes while I focused on recovering. I feel like I lost so much time. Adolpha probably saw me thinking negatively again and said,
どうしても男として意識できないなら、またもう一度口説き直すが。どうす
all the things he could say. I love you, Adolpha. There, I said it. His mouth was open in surprise at my sudden response. I began to laugh like a child, being able to tease him again after such a long time. Adolpha, I love you very much.
兄としてか。
No, as a man. His face turned red in an instant. To be honest, I did want to tell you my feelings much sooner. But, you know, even though you can't see the marks with my clothes on, there are still traces of the toxins on my skin. Which is why I didn't feel like I was the same girl you fell in love with. And I was too terrified to ask.
そうだったのか。
Oh, so she still has scars from, where the toxins were. Adolpha quietly listened to me explain the source of my anxiety.
あの事件と毒素の汚染に耐え切ったお前にはもう怖いものなんて存在しないだろうと勝手に思っていた。
Of course I still feel afraid. I was so timid that there were more things that scared me that didn't. For example, a future where I couldn't be with Adolpha. That's my confession to you. So, if your feelings for me haven't changed, Adolpha, will you?
たく、お前はどれだけ成長しても妙に悲観的なのは変わらないな。けど、そういうことならもう我慢する必要はないな。
Huh? Smoosh! Before I could ask my question, Adolpha sealed my lips with a kiss. My body froze in surprise, but Adolpha's strength and warmth, his heartbeat full of life. I wanted to feel everything about him with my whole body. I decided to surrender myself to his desire. A few seconds later, we parted from each other with a sigh. Adolpha, I'm happy to know we both feel the same way, but aren't things changing too quickly?
激しくしてんだよ。何せ俺は二人分の愛を背負ってる身だ。自分で言うのもなんだが、そこらの男の愛とは重さが違う。だから体の傷やあざのことも気にするな。その程度で俺がお前のことを嫌うわけがない。その過去の証ごと愛してやる。
So I'm guessing, does she have like lycra-shaped scars
そ
on
れ
her
でも
arms
ま
and
だ
stuff?
不安だって言うなら、5年前に告げた言葉を今ここで 改めて伝えてやるよ。お前が好きだ、セレス。俺とあいつの二人分、数百年と7年の長い片恋を経てもなお、この感情は増すばかりでとどまることを知らない。
That would be cool.
呪いと23の年月を超え、思いが通じ合った今、どんなお前も愛してる。
I love you too. Finally, I gave him a proper response. An honest response to his sincere confession of love from 5 years ago. My response wasn't an I'm sorry, but thank you, Adolpha. I love you the same way. I promise to be the first and last to love you with all my heart. Adolpha thanked me in response.
いつかこのリコリスの花園にふさわしい花嫁衣装も着せてやるからな。
Yum, 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 yum. Ruining the moment. I'm sorry. Yes, and I'll do anything I can make you happy, Adolpha.
その言葉を聞けてよかった。死ぬまで、いや、死んでもお前は俺だけの死神だからな。
Yay!
これで
The curse had met its demise by force. We were no longer held in place by false immortality. A lonely, eternal journey through despair had reached its end at last. And
自死を願う不幸な死神の物語は終焉だな。
yay! Act 2 salvation routes have been unlocked for Eve, Lucas, Mathis, and Cheyenne. Yay!
手をつないで笑い合って
We can now do the
一緒に
happy
年を
routes
重
for everyone
ねて
else. But I
普
think
通
we might
の
leave
人
that
生
for
を
next
歩いていこう。
time.
二人分の愛で
We've been going for 3 hours, and
お
I'm
前
pretty sure
を
it's
世
probably
界
pretty
で
late
一
for you,
番幸
Kaze,
せな
right?
女にしてみせる。
長き旅路の果てにたどり着いた笑顔はとても美しかった。君の心を救済できて、もう一度恋ができて、本当に良かったよ。
Yeah. So I think tomorrow yeah. Hey, we just had therapy. We had happy ending, and then we get more happy ending tomorrow. So yeah, we will be back. Oh, that's too loud. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, for the salvation ends for everyone else. We get the happy endings for everyone else. I think we'll go in the order we played in. So we'll do Mathis, and then we'll do Lucas, then we'll do Sheehan's, then we'll do Eve's. In the order we played the routes in, because I feel like that makes sense. Yes, time to make everyone happy-ish. I don't know. Comments made makes me think that some endings will still be bittersweet. But for the most part, if this salvation end is anything to go off, the endings are probably going to be much happier than we think. So, until tomorrow, I'm gonna ask you all to stay electrifying. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.